Hey, Kaylee, are you there? I just wanted to say thank you so much for sending me that lovely baby gift. It just arrived yesterday. In fact, we opened it up and we were already putting it to use right away. And even little Eve seems to like it.
Hello, Cindy. I'm really glad that you all seem to enjoy my gift. I'm really sorry that I was dragging my feet with sending it to you guys.
Well, that's okay. I mean, you've been working in a whole different country for a while now. But now that you're back, do you know if you're going to stay for long?
Oh, yes. I was only working overseas because my work had sent me there on a special project. But I don't have any plans to be leaving the country anytime soon now that I'm finally back.
Great! Well then, you and I should try and meet up more since you're going to be around. Actually, next month is going to be Eve's first birthday. Would you want to come and be there for her party?
Would that be okay? I mean, you wouldn't mind if I was there to help celebrate?
Of course we wouldn't mind. I mean, none of our parents live anywhere close to us, right? So you're basically the closest family we have. We'd love it if you could come over and join the party.
Thank you so much. I'll have to check my schedule first since I'm not sure if I have anything. But as soon as I do, I'll get back to you and let you know my availability.
You know, Kaylee, you don't always have to talk as if you're causing some kind of trouble for us just by coming to our house or something.
You're right. I'm sorry. I think I've just been so used to mostly talking to people from work that I'm just always putting on my customer service voice, even in text, I guess. But you're right. I don't mean to act as if I'm some kind of burden or anything.
Well, I am married to your brother, you know. It's fine to think of us more as family. But then again, I guess you were away for quite a while, right? In fact, now that I think about it, I think you and I have only ever actually met in person like 3 times.
I wish I could say that it's been more, but I guess with the circumstances the way they were.
Actually, this is going to be really fun. I don't think I've really known anyone like you, so it'll be really nice getting to know you better from here on out. After all, you're not a loudmouth like me. Would you say that you're more of a talker or a listener?
I would say I'm a much better listener than talker, so if anything, I'm glad that you're so loquacious.
I'm going to take that as a compliment. Actually, the truth is that I've been wanting to get to know you better for a long time.
Oh, really? I don't think that I knew that. Do you mind if I ask why that is?
Well, because you're my sister-in-law, of course. I've heard some stuff about you through Brandon. I've never had a sister, and I was just looking forward to gaining one.
Oh, I see. Well, then I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting, but I hope that we can get along.
There you go with that customer service voice again. But I guess it's not fair for me to expect you to drop that right away. But I just want you to know that you really can think of me like a sister. And I would love to go out and eat or do some shopping with you sometime.
Yeah, I think that would be really nice. I would love to go out for a meal sometime. But are you sure that you're going to be able to do that while Eve is still so little?
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem at all. In fact, on the weekends, your brother is always watching Eve.
Oh, really? I have to say that kind of surprises me. I didn't know Brandon did that kind of thing.
Wait, really? You didn't know what he watched Eve on the weekends? Well, we've been doing this for a while now, but yeah, he's super good with her.
Well, that's good to hear. I guess maybe the image I have of Brandon in my head is a little more wild?
Wait, really? You mean that your brother used to be a bit of a wild child? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. You'll have to tell me all about him when we go out.
Well, okay then. If you'd like to hear some stories about how Brandon used to be, I am happy to tell you.
Oh, great. This is actually going to be so much fun. And remember to tell me when you're free next week so that you can show up to Eve's birthday party. Hey, Kaylee. I was just wondering if you saw the message that I sent you this afternoon. You still haven't gotten back to me at all.
Oh, I'm really sorry to respond to you so late, Cindy. The truth is that I don't really check my phone all that much at work.
Well, you really should check it out. The new stock just arrived, so you should go and look at it for yourself.
The new stock? Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about.
Did you even open the link that I sent you? It's for a limited time only sale from one of my favorite cosmetic stores.
Oh, I see. I think I remember you saying something about wanting some product from this sale, right? Are you trying to ask me to buy you something from this sale?
You can just think of it as a Christmas present for me. I mean, after all, I brought you those homemade cookies, but I haven't gotten anything from you.
Oh, I guess I hadn't realized that I still haven't sent anything. I'm sorry about that.
Didn't your parents ever teach you about getting and giving gifts? If a family member gets you something, then that means you have to get them something in return.
I see. Okay then, I will check out the link you sent me in more detail when I get home.
Okay, but just know that you have to get the things I want today. You can't risk waiting or else they might not be there later, okay?
Okay, I understand. I'll be sure to buy your gifts right away then.
You know, Kaylee, you sure are a hard worker, but your people skills could use a little bit of work. Did you know that?
I mean, it's not like I'm not aware of it, but I have friends and that makes me happy at least.
You really have friends? I didn't know that. Or is that why you come back from living overseas? Did you just realize that you had nobody there?
No, the reason I came back from living overseas was because the job that I was working that had put me over there ended. But I actually really enjoyed living in a different country. It was really fun.
I see. Well, I guess that I just find that hard to believe since you are just rather dull. I guess I just didn't know how you could have fun the way you are.
Cindy, I really am not trying to start anything, but I feel like the way you talk to me has gotten more mean recently.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I guess sometimes I just type or say things without even thinking about it. I really am not trying to be rude though.
Really? Because it doesn't feel that way a lot of the time, you know.
I really am sorry. But I guess the only reason I feel comfortable talking to you like that is because I'm starting to really like you. So I don't think that you should sweat the small stuff like that and just try and see it all as a good thing, okay?
Right. I guess I'll try and remember that for the future then.
Oh, and by the way, there was actually something that I wanted to ask you. You see, the thing is that Brandon is going to be on a business trip from next month.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was going to be going anywhere.
Right. And so the thing is that he'll be gone for a month, and that means that I'll be having to take care of Eve all by myself. So anyways, I was just hoping that I could leave her at your place for at least a few days.
You mean that you want me to watch over Eve for a few days?
Well, I just don't really have anyone else that I can go to about this. Please? You're the only one I can count on.
I know, but Eve is still just barely a year old, right? And I've never watched over a kid in my life.
Oh, I'm sure that you'll be fine. After all, everyone has to learn sometime. I'm sure you'll get it right away. Just give it a few hours. Please? I would really appreciate it if I could count on you for this. There are some things that I really need to take care of.
Well, okay then. I guess if you ask me to do it on the weekend, then I think I could make that work.
Amazing! Thank you so much. I'll send you the days that I need you to look after Eve for me. Thanks again for doing this.
Cindy, are you there? We have a real problem over here. It's about Eve. I just felt her forehead and I think she has a fever.
Oh, really? Well, in that case, just give her some fever tablets and put her down for a nap. That's an easy fix.
Are you sure that I shouldn't try and take her to a doctor or something like that? I mean, I don't think babies are supposed to be running this hot.
What are you talking about? Kids get sick and have fevers all the time. It's perfectly natural.
But, well, Eve just looks like she's really uncomfortable right now. I really think that it might be best to take her to a doctor so that she can be looked at.
Okay then, if you want to take her to the doctor, then take her to the doctor. Do you really need to ask me before you do every little thing? If you think that you know what's best, then just do it. You don't need to check with me for everything, you know.
Okay then, would you mind telling me what time you were going to come and pick Eve up? Because it's already well past the time that you said you were going to pick her up. Not only that, but I don't have any of her insurance information, so I think it would be best for you to pick her up and take her to the doctor.
I really don't think that it's going to be necessary. Everything you need for Eve should be in the bag that I gave you. Just dig around in there. I'm sure that there's some medicine inside. You really don't need to be making such a big deal out of all this.
Wait a second, are you not coming to pick Eve up? You know I have to go to work tomorrow, right?
Can't you just take some time off and not go to work? I have no idea what time I'm going to be able to make it to your place tomorrow either.
Cindy, come on. I think that you're trying to avoid answering my question. You said that you were going to come and pick Eve up from me in the afternoon, remember?
And I really was going to do that, but then I just got really busy and now I can't. I don't know what more you want from me.
I want you to come and pick your daughter up from my house. Is that really so much?
And why should I have to do that? You think that just because I'm a mom that I shouldn't be allowed to have any breaks?
That's not what I said at all, Cindy, but I'm telling you that Eve has a fever and isn't looking so good.
Then just give her some food, medicine, and put her down for a nap. This really doesn't need to be so complicated.
Sorry, do you mind if I ask where you are right now that you can't come and get Eve?
Look, you have no idea how hard it is taking care of the house and watching over Eve day in and day out. So I just popped out of the house for a while to spot where I could try and refresh myself. Is that good enough for you?
Okay, I think that I'm going to call Brandon and ask about what he thinks I should do.
Hold on a second. Why do you have to go and get your brother involved? I don't understand.
Well, because you're not coming to pick up Eve at the time that you said you were. So if you're not going to do that, then I have to reach out to Brandon and ask him instead.
You do know that he's away on a business trip right now, don't you? I really don't think that he would want to be bothered by something like this.
But it's okay for you to cause me trouble with all of this?
Oh, come on. Who's asking you to look after a little baby causing you any trouble? You know, I wouldn't have let you do this if I knew you were going to act like this.
No, and I don't think that Eve is the problem here. You told me you were going to come at a certain time and you're still not here. I think that you're actually being really irresponsible concerning Eve right now.
Let me tell you now that if my husband finds out about this, you are going to be in big, big trouble. He might leave me because of this.
Well, if you don't want that to happen, then I suggest that you come and pick up your daughter.
I've already told you that I'm just not going to be able to make it there in time to pick Eve up tonight. But you can just please not tell Brandon about this? You're the one making these threats, but you're not taking responsibility for them.
That doesn't even make sense. I'm not threatening anyone. I just want Eve picked up at the time you said to me.
You really are a pain in the neck, do you know that? How many times are you going to make me say that I can't pick her up? And if you have all this time to message me, then why don't you just take Eve to the doctor yourself? And don't forget to feed her dinner. Hey there, Kaylee. I just wanted to check and see how my kid is doing. Is Eve doing well?
Well, her fever has gone down, yes. But do you have any idea how long it's been since you dropped off Eve here with me?
I think it's only been like a week, right?
Only been? You mean that it's already been a week?
Okay, if you really want me to go and pick her up that badly, then how about you pay me to do it?
What do you mean by that? Why in the world would I pay you to get your own daughter?
Well, because I used too much money while I was away on vacation, and now I need some more. So if you want me to pick her up, you can write me a check for $1,000. Or better yet, send it through PayPal or something first, and then I'll come and get Eve.
This has got to be a joke. Either way, Eve isn't here, so I'm not going to be playing this game of yours.
What do you mean that Eve isn't there? Where is she if she's not with you?
Well, I had to go to work, so I couldn't watch Eve. I told you all of this already.
But then where is my daughter right now?
If you really want to know, she's at your house. But don't worry, she's with my mom, who is watching over her.
Wait a second. You mean that you told your mom about me leaving Eve with you? I thought I told you not to do that.
You told me not to tell my brother, but you didn't tell me anything about not telling my mom.
It's all the same. Why would you do this? I told you that it was just supposed to be between you and I.
Oh, well, it's a bit late for that now. After all, it was my brother who had to come back from his business trip to let my mom into your house.
Wait a second. So then, Brandon and your mom know?
That's right. I actually told Brandon first, and then he told my mom and arranged for her to look after Eve.
But this doesn't make any sense. Why is all of this happening? I thought you weren't going to tell anyone. I told you that Brandon might leave me if he heard about this, don't you remember?
I remember you saying that, and I also remember telling you to get your daughter if you didn't want that. So I don't really see how I'm responsible for any of this at all.
Of course you're responsible. You're responsible for all of this. You should have just kept your mouth shut and watched Eve like I asked.
And you should have come and picked up your daughter after I told you that she had a really bad fever. But instead you left her with me for a whole week when it was only supposed to be a weekend. And when I learned that you weren't even in the city because you were away on some trip, I asked Brandon to ask our mom if she could look after Eve instead.
You have no idea how hard it is to be raising a child on your own. I just needed some time to relax and refresh.
If you really needed that time, then you should have talked to your husband about it. But instead you tried to dump Eve on me and didn't even bother telling anyone.
But then, what's going to happen? Why isn't Brandon picking up when I try to call him?
I imagine that he's busy trying to find evidence that you weren't taking care of Eve. And you were gone for a whole week, so I'm sure he's busy tracing all your steps.
But then what's going to happen to me? I never wanted any of this. This wasn't supposed to go this way. I don't want Brandon to be mad at me. I don't want him to leave me. I only wanted a little vacation. I just needed you to look after Eve for a little bit. I never meant to cause any trouble for anyone, but I just needed a longer break.
You thought that just because I'm a quiet person that you could take advantage of me?
It's not like that at all. I just thought that I could count on you, but I realized that I was asking way too much from you.
And here I thought that I would be able to count on you as well. You were so nice and talked so much about wanting to be my friend, but I think that you just wanted someone to do the work that you didn't feel like doing. I mean, you could have hired a babysitting service or gone to family or worked something out if you were going to be gone for so long. But instead, you just abandoned your child with me and didn't look back at all.
But I wasn't doing it to be mean. I didn't mean to upset you or hurt Eve or anything.
I'm afraid that it's a bit late to be saying all of that now, Cindy.
Please, you have to try and explain things to your brother and mom. You have to explain to them that this is all just one big mistake. I promise that I'll never do anything like this again if you just help me out this one time, Kaylee.
Oh, I already offered to help you out once, and I see how that ended up for everyone involved. You got yourself into this mess, and now you are going to get yourself out. But just don't try and involve me. I don't want anything to do with this. After that, I heard from Brandon about what he'd uncovered in his investigation into where Cindy went for the week. It turns out that she went out of state to stay at a nice hotel for the week, but she wasn't alone. She was with another man from Brandon's office. In the end, not only did Brandon and Cindy end up divorcing, but she also had to pay for her affair, lost custody of Eve, and was also tasked with paying child support until Eve became an adult. Brandon, who had to turn right around and finish his business trip before coming back to deal with all of this, was so apologetic to our mom and I. He was so sorry that we both got dragged into a mess of Cindy's making. We both told him that it was okay and that we were just glad that things were solved and that Eve was okay. Of course, Brandon is going to have to explain a lot to his daughter when she grows up, but that's a story for a different time.
Hey, Ursula, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I've gotten off work just now. My mom also just messaged me asking to pick up pain meds for you on the way home. Do you have a brand of medicine that you prefer over the other ones, or can I just get you any old kind?
Oh, hey Soleil. I'm so sorry to have to ask you to do that for me, but now I don't really have a preference. Anything should do. Thanks a lot for doing that. I appreciate it since you just finished work and all.
But I mean, are you really feeling that bad? Hasn't it been days since you just started staying in bed all day?
I know, I don't like it either, but it really is a lot of discomfort. I've never had this much period pain before.
Well, I guess it's just a good thing that you had been taking time off of work when this happened. But what are you going to do if this happens after you start work?
I don't know, but thankfully my work does have quite a few female employees. So I'm hoping for a pretty lenient policy when it comes to things like this.
I really don't think that any company is going to want to put up with someone acting the way that you are. Like, do you really think it's fair for you to be taking so much time off and spending all day in bed like this just because of a little period?
I know that it's a period, but I really think my work would understand. Besides, there are just so many women with children who work there that I'm sure there's a cooperative kind of atmosphere there.
Well, let's certainly hope so. I mean, if it were a more male-dominated company, then you might get fired for trying to pull something like this. After all, I work in an office with a bunch of men, and I know that I couldn't take time off like this even if I asked for it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't expect most men to understand what it's like to have a period, right?
But I mean, you know that periods are just uncomfortable in general, right? We all get them, but you don't see other women making as big of a deal about them as you are.
I guess that's true, but I just think that they're one of those things that can be different for everyone. In fact, in the past, I've had periods get so bad that I've passed out before. That's how painful they've been.
You mean that you would actually lose consciousness just because of some period pain? Are you sure that you're just not really weak? What's going to happen when you finally have kids, huh? I mean, if you're that sensitive to pain, then you might die.
Oh, I am sure it's going to be plenty painful on the day that that happens, too.
And then again, I guess thinking about you now, you are quite the skinny little thing. Are you sure that you're just not malnourished or something? You have to take care of yourself. You should know how important it is to maintain a good diet and get lots of rest. But you shouldn't be sleeping too much either.
I really appreciate the advice, Soleil, but I've been dealing with this for a while, and usually a little rest is just what I need.
Are you really sure about that? Because I know quite a few people who tell me that their period pain gets worse when they just sit around. So if you can't even move when you get that kind of pain, then you must actually be really, really weak. Which is fine, of course. But do you at least think you could do a little more around the house? I'm just saying that if you're going to be at home resting all day, then the least you could do is to clean the bathroom or the kitchen, you know?
I really am so sorry to be causing trouble. It's not like I want to be stuck in bed trying to recover or anything like that. How about I offer to do your chores for a while once my period finally does stop?
Well, that is the least you could do. Actually, I mean, you're a housewife, and yet you're not actually doing anything around the house. Do you really think that we're going to keep doing all your work for you? You married into this family, and that means you should be trying to take the burden off all the people like my mom now that you're living with her.
Of course, you're right. I really don't mean to be causing an inconvenience like this.
That's fine, I guess. But I don't get why you don't just go on the pill. I've heard it's supposed to help with things like this. Why don't you try that?
I've actually tried going on the pill once, but it just didn't really sit right with my body.
Wow, well, I guess that I've heard of people who don't react well with the pill, but I've never met one myself. But man, you sure do get spoiled because of it. Hey, Ursula, are you there? I just want to let you know that my concert just ended. Would you mind coming to pick me up and take me home? There are so many taxis here, but they're going to charge a lot since so many people are going to be trying to take them. Can you please hurry up? I'm covered in sweat, and it's pretty cold outside over here.
Hey, Soleil, I'm really, really sorry about this, but my period has started.
Oh, come on. I'm just asking you to make a quick little drive into town to pick me up. It won't take long, you know. Just hurry up and get me.
Please, I'm really sorry, but I just won't be able to do it. I felt like I've been about to puke all day. I really don't think it would be a good idea for me to get behind the wheel.
So then you're going to just make me walk home while I'm freezing like this? You know that my mom is out of town and won't be coming back home until tomorrow. And you know that my brother is still at work right now, too. You're the only person that I can ask to help me with this.
I know, but it's just... Well, I think that Josh should be back home in a couple of hours.
No! I am not going to be waiting here for another 2 hours. Come on, why are you being like this? I'm just asking you for a small favor.
I'm sorry, but it's just not going to happen.
So then you're really going to leave me out here and you're not going to come and pick me up at all?
I'm telling you that I just can't do that for you right now. I'm in a lot of pain and it wouldn't be a good idea.
You really need to get a grip. Do you know that, Ursula? You could not have gotten your period with worse timing. Besides, I thought I already told you that you're not doing yourself any favors by staying in bed and doing nothing while you're on your period.
Please understand, it's not like I'm pleasantly resting or anything like that. I'm still in quite a bit of discomfort.
You know, I've been thinking this for a while, but how do you expect anyone to be able to respect you if you keep acting like this?
What do you mean by that? In what way am I acting?
I'm just saying that you always do this. You always use your period to get out of doing work around the house or helping out the family. Do you really not see how you're just making a big deal out of all of this? You're the reason why men always think so little of women.
I'm sorry. That's really not what I'm trying to do at all, though.
Well, it's just how the world works, and you need to open up your eyes and realize that. Can't you just bear with the pain a little better? Honestly, just how many women do you think are out there going to work every day and not throwing a fit like you do when they get their period? Everyone else can put up with it and work, so why do you think that you're special? Why do you think you get an exception?
I really do wish that I could be like that as well, but I think that I just have worse symptoms than others when it comes to it. And I think we both know that periods aren't the same for everyone, right?
But I'm telling you that we all have them, and they're a normal thing that we all have to work with. Do you not get what I'm trying to say? I just want to know where you get off thinking that you're special enough to not have to go to work or do anything because of it. Why can't you just look around, see how others are living, and just try and fit in?
It's really not like I don't want to do any of that. I can't with the way my periods affect me.
You know what? I'm actually glad that I don't work at an office like yours. And if I was one of your coworkers, I would seriously be mad at you for taking time off like this. You should have just quit your job completely when you married my brother. What's the point of even having a job if you're going to spend so much time at home?
Right. I guess I'll think about all of that. But does it seem like you're going to be able to get home okay?
What do you mean, am I going to get home okay? How is that supposed to happen if no one is coming to get me? You don't need to rub it in, you know.
Of course, I'm really sorry about that. That was a silly question of me to ask.
If you were really sorry, then you would quit making up excuses and just come and pick me up. What is even the point of having you around if you refuse to do anything? I mean, at the very least, you should keep the house clean and maybe do some cooking for everyone while we're out of the house. And why is it that you're always happening to get your period right at a time when I need you for stuff, huh? What's the matter with you?
I'm really sorry about all of this, Soleil. I really wish there was a way I could make you understand.
Oh, don't worry. I understand just fine. You think that you can just apologize your way out of everything. You don't care how much trouble you might be causing for those around. You'll just use your period like a magic wand to get out of doing everything, right? Hey there, Ursula. I was just wondering, you wouldn't happen to be in a bit of trouble right now, would you? Because you better have a good reason for why you're not here for me right now. I really am starting to lose my patience with you.
Things have gotten really bad over here.
Really bad? And whatever do you mean? You wouldn't happen to be looking for any pain meds right now, would you?
Pain meds? What do you mean? Why would you ask something like that?
Well, I was just curious if you happen to be looking around for any kinds of pills to take for your period. And I was more curious about you if you were able to find any. I'd be really surprised if you could. You see, I actually threw away all of our pain medications. So now, you'll just have to deal with your period like everyone else.
Sorry, you threw away all of the pain medications in the house?
And that's right. You're always taking pain medication and then talking about how you have to lie down afterwards. Well, that just isn't a healthy way to be dealing with your period. So I've taken it upon myself to make you stronger and break your reliance on those things. From now on, you are banned from taking any more pain meds for your period. You need to learn to deal with the pain on your own and stop trying to rely on medicine to fix everything.
You stupid daughter of mine, don't you know what you've done? Now your sister-in-law is being taken away in an ambulance.
Wait, what? I'm confused. What's going on here? What are you talking about?
I am talking about Ursula, your sister-in-law. I had just gotten back from my trip and I found her passed out on the floor.
Hold on a second. Is this... Mom, is that you?
Of course it's me, and I can't believe that you would do something like this to Ursula. What is wrong with you?
But I don't get it. Why are you texting me from her number? This doesn't make any sense at all.
I am texting you from her number because she had her phone on her when she fell. Then I saw that she was getting messages from you, and I saw the kinds of things that you were sending to her. Then I asked her if it would be okay if I handled you for her, and she said it was okay.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that all of that had happened.
But that's not what I want to talk about right now. What I want to talk about is your behavior towards Ursula. Why would you throw out all of the pain medication in the house when you get to know how bad her periods get?
But it's just... Well, I mean, that's the thing. They were only period cramps, so how could they even be that bad?
Has Ursula not told you before about how bad periods are? They are much more painful than your average cycles. And if she isn't able to take medication to treat the pain, then things can get really bad for her. I would have thought that being a fellow woman, you would have been able to sympathize with her.
But I mean, she's not the only one who gets periods. We all get them, but you don't see me trying to use them to get out of work. I just thought that she had to be lying about it, or at the very least, over-exaggerating everything.
Oh, really? Well, are you going to call her being collapsed on the floor just her being dramatic then? Because she was in so much pain that she wasn't even conscious when I found her.
Well, how do you know that has to do with her period? What if it's all just a coincidence, huh? I mean, it doesn't have to be from her period. Maybe she has some other kind of condition that's making her feel that way.
Is this really how you're going to be? Because I just don't see the point in talking to you if you're going to be acting like this.
Are you really telling me that you're going to be taking Ursula's side in this over mine? Don't you realize she was making us do all her work while she just lied around?
You do know that Ursula works very, very hard at her job. Maybe even more than she really should be. So if she needs a little help doing her work around the house when her period does roll around, then we should be there for her to help.
How can you say that when all she does on her period is just lie around and contribute nothing? If I were to do something like that, you'd call me a lazy bum and kick me out. How is any of this fair? She's the one who married into our family, come here to move in with us, and now she doesn't have to do any work at all?
If you really think that that's what's going on here, then you have no idea what you're talking about. In fact, we should get one thing straight. Ursula isn't some housewife. She has a job. She works from home and earns more than enough to be able to afford the bills for all of us here. Not only that, but she also finds time to help out around the house and with anything that your father and I might happen to ask of her. Do you really think that you can say that you do the same as all of that? You've been working for some time now, just part-time at that, but you haven't contributed a single cent to this family. And it's not like I ever see you doing any work around the house to begin with, you know.
But Ursula doesn't even clean the bathroom when she stays at home for her period pains.
Of course she's not going to be doing work around the house when she's trying to avoid feeling sick to her stomach. And you should know that I know.
What is that supposed to mean? And what do you know?
I know that you always make Ursula do all of your work anyways. When I ask you to take out the trash or clean a room, it's her who ends up doing it. So why are you blaming her for all of these problems when you're the biggest problem around here?
I was just trying to make Ursula work to earn her keep around here.
I told you that she already does plenty to earn keep. Not only that, but that's still no excuse to hide medication from someone in pain. When you get home, I want you to start packing up your bags. Do you understand me?
Wait, what? But why would you want me to do something like that?
Why do you think? I want you to pack up your bags and move out of this house right away. I am sick and tired of having to put up with you.
Now hold on just a second. When did this become about me? I thought that we were talking about Ursula.
It's always been about you, and it's clear to me that I've been far too easy on you. You thought that Ursula had moved here just to serve you? And even when she was willing to pick up all your slack, you still had to try and hurt her like that. Well, I refuse to have someone like you spend another day under my roof.
Hey there, Ursula. How are you feeling?
Well, I've still been wanting to puke my guts out, but I feel better than yesterday.
Oh, well, that's good at least, right? I just wanted to say how sorry I was for yesterday. I shouldn't have hidden the medicine from you.
That's right, you shouldn't have. It had been years since something like that had happened.
But you know that I wasn't trying to be mean or anything like that, right? I mean, I just thought that you could beat it on your own.
Is that supposed to be your apology? Because you're going to have to do better than that.
Oh, come on. You know that I never wanted things to go that far. I guess I just didn't really understand just how much pain you were in.
I don't care if you couldn't understand, because I tried to explain it to you over and over again. But even so, you had to go and pull your little stunt.
Well, I already apologized. I don't know what else you want me to say.
You haven't even apologized, actually, and I think that you need to realize that no matter what the context, what you did was wrong.
Look, I think that the important thing is that you're okay. Can't we just make up?
You think I can just put this behind me? You know that it wasn't just this, right? It's the way that you would put me down when I was in pain, the way that you would make me do your work for you when I felt better. I have no intention of forgiving you. And if this is about whatever your mom has decided to do with you, then that is between you and her. But I am through dealing with you. After that, Soleil didn't make any move to pack her bags. She tried to call her mom's bluff, but one day after getting back home from work, Soleil came home to find her bags all over the lawn. Not only that, but her mom had even had the locks on the doors changed so that she couldn't get in. Soleil tried to ask friends for help, but nobody was willing to after they heard what she had done to me. In the end, Soleil had to quickly find the cheapest apartment that she could. She sold off a lot of her stuff to fit it all in and is finally having to live on her own. I don't think she realized just how much was being done for her by her parents and by me while she lived at home. She thought that my presence only added more work for her, when really, I was providing for the whole household. Thankfully, with Soleil out of the house, things became much easier for me. I was able to concentrate on my work while my in-laws continued to take great care of me. Of course, I also offered to do my share when it wasn't my period, but I was glad to get such empathy from my husband's family.
Hey there, Tabitha. It's me, Greg. You know, your wife Samantha's husband.
Oh, Greg, it's been a while since I've heard from you, hasn't it? How have you been? Are you doing well?
Yeah, I'm okay. Actually, thanks to your daughter, I'm the best I've ever been, really.
Oh, well, that is just lovely to hear. I'm glad that you two are doing well living together. Anyways, to what do I owe the pleasure of getting the message from you? I certainly hope that you and Samantha haven't been fighting or anything like that.
No, it's nothing like that at all. We haven't been fighting or anything like that. I actually wanted to talk to you about Samantha's plan to go back to your house to give birth.
Oh, of course. She was going to come here next month, wasn't she?
Yeah, that was the plan. And then I think she was probably going to be there for about 2 months or so. Anyways, I just wanted to double check now that you're still okay and prepare that to do for us. I know that it means a lot to Samantha, and obviously I wish I could be there, but I'm glad she'll be in your hands.
Well, aren't you a thoughtful and polite husband? Honestly, Samantha could stand to learn a couple of things from you.
Ha ha ha, I think Samantha has her own special kind of charm, don't you? Anyways, about while she's going to be there. I was going to send you money for those 2 months so that she isn't a burden while she's there.
No, come now. You don't need to do that. It's just one more mouth to feed. It's not going to take that much.
No. You have to let me contribute something. I'll feel so useless not being able to do anything from so far away. Besides, Samantha is more like 2 months to feed with that baby inside her.
Well, I suppose you are right there, aren't you? But it's so exciting that Samantha's going to give us our first grandbaby here soon. I hope you know how much we've been looking forward to this. You have to know that it isn't a burden at all.
But I just mean that you're probably going to be spending a lot more on food than you were.
And we are more than happy to. But if you really want to send some money every month, then that's okay.
Yes, I really would feel better if I could. And just please make sure that Sam is eating right. But what I am saying, I know that you will. After all that Sam has been talking about lately is getting to eat some more of your cooking. But she'll need a lot to recover after giving birth. So anyways, if I can give you a little bit and feel like I'm doing something to contribute, it'll set me at ease. I just want everything to go well for this.
Oh, Greg, you really are nothing like my husband when I was having Sam. Do you know that?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I just remember when I was giving birth to Samantha, he was drinking up until the final moment. He said he just didn't realize how much time it would take to give birth.
I see. Wow. I really don't think I can ever do something like that.
I know, and it was bad at the time. But now it's just something that we laugh about. But you ought to be careful. Things like that can end up following you, even if you don't mean for them to. But of course, my husband changed after Samantha was born. It was like something had flipped in him. But it still just boils my blood remembering how upset I was at home then.
Well, I'll at least be sure not to be drinking while Sam is actually giving birth.
Well, I don't think that she has anything to worry about when it comes to you. If anything, I can see Sam causing trouble for you, but not the other way around. After all, she barely has even talked to me when I asked her how she's doing. Don't you think that's cruel?
Well, I think that Sam isn't exactly the most talkative person. We know that, right? But I want you to know that everyone here is getting along and there's nothing to worry about. In fact, she probably just doesn't have much to say to you because things are going so well at home.
Well, I certainly hope that is the case. But still, that doesn't make it any easier not to hear from my own daughter. But I hope that it's because things are going so well for the two of you.
Well, just don't tell her that I told you any of that. I'm sure she would just be worried that she was making you worry.
Don't worry, I won't do anything to meddle in your affairs if you're both happy. I just wanted to make sure that that was actually the case.
Yes, well, it's not going to be easy to just spend this much time away from her. I can already tell that I'm going to be really lonely without my lovely wife around.
Well, yes, it is unfortunate that you can't come along with her. After all, you two haven't spent much time apart at all except for serious times when one of you has to go into the hospital. But you know, after she gives birth, you could come over every weekend if you wanted. We can arrange a room for you two and everything.
Thank you so much, Tabitha. That is really kind of you. But I'll see what I can do with how busy work is.
Oh, are things picking up around the office this time of year?
Well, I was talking to my boss and it sounded like he was only going to let me take off of work for when Sam actually gives birth. So it might be a bit unrealistic for me to be going to your house every week. But of course that just makes me feel worse because it seems like I'm leaving all the child rearing and taking care of Sam to you.
Oh, please. We're family. You don't have to worry about that. If you're really that busy with work, then there's no need to feel pressure to come over every single week, especially since you would be driving here. There's no use having you on the road in such a state. Besides, I'm sure that there will be plenty of time for you two to spend together once she goes home.
Thanks again so much. I really mean it. And I'm glad that we're able to talk about this and confirm that we're still able to take Samantha. We'll be in touch. You'll hear from me again soon.
Well, not to worry. Just know that you've got people you can count on. And after Samantha does get here, I'll be sure to give you any and all updates when she goes into labor. Hey, Mom, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I'm on the train and headed to your place. Samantha, are you really sure you should be taking the train all the way here? I mean, you know that your father or I could have gone to pick you up, right? Oh, Mom, there's nothing to worry about at all. I've already sent my bags ahead to your place, so it's fine. Besides, it's a bit late to get off of it now. I see. I remember you complaining about just how much packing you were doing. Are you really sure you needed to bring all of that? It's just clothes and other stuff. Of course I needed all of it. Clothes, huh? I mean, after you give birth, I can't imagine you'll be leaving the house much, right? I know. But are you telling me I'll have to wear the same outfits at home every single day? You say that now, but I bet you're going to feel very different after you have given birth. Okay, fine. Do you want to put money on it? $1,000 says that I actually put in the effort to get dressed in real clothes every single day that I'm there. No, thank you. That is not a bet I want to take when it comes to someone like you. Well, then I hope that means you let me get changed when I want to and not complain about all the clothes that I have. You really can be a dummy sometimes. Do you know that, Mom? Samantha, come now. That is no way to talk to your mother at all. Sorry. I guess I just feel a bit energetic today. I see. Were you not feeling so well before now? Well, not exactly, I guess. I'm sorry to hear that, Samantha. Well, can you really blame me though? I mean, I'm literally about to have a baby right now. This is a really big deal, and I guess I just can't help but be a little nervous about it. And I think another reason for feeling this way is that it's just been so long since I've had anything to drink. Well, I was wondering if that might have had anything to do with it. Really? And why did you figure that? Well, because I had to give up smoking when I had you, of course. And trust me, that was not easy. Wait, what? I didn't know that you used to smoke. Yes, when I was much younger. And quitting was not easy at all. In fact, there were a couple of times that I smoked while pregnant with you. What? You're kidding me. You didn't really do that, did you? Well, what's the big deal? You're a healthy adult now, aren't you? I know, but still, how could you do that? Come on, Mom. I understand why you're upset, but you should know that things were just very different when I was pregnant with you. People were worried about different things when it came to pregnancies, and the important thing was trying your best. But anyways, I managed to quit before having you. So anyways, I'm sure that you'll be fine because you're my kid, and so I know there's nothing to worry about. Thanks, Mom. That means a lot to me. Anyways, I'll let you know when I'm close to arriving, okay? Wait, is that? You're just going to go just like that? Yeah, sorry. I gotta run now. Samantha, are you there? I was just wondering if you had any idea what time it was right now. I thought your hair appointment ended a while ago. Little Bryce is crying because he wants you. Oh, hey there, Mom. Sorry for not getting back to you sooner. You know, I really don't mind if you want to stay out of the house and have some time to yourself. I know what it's like to be so soon after giving birth, but if you are going to stay out, I just ask that you let your dad or I know beforehand. Well, I'm sorry, but I won't be going home. What do you mean by that? I don't understand. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to take care of Bryce for me. But whatever you do, just please don't let Greg have him, okay? I really mean that. Hold on just a second here, Samantha. What in the world is going on? What has gotten into you? Where are you right now? I'm really, really sorry, Mom. But I can't tell you where I'm at right now. I just can't. Please, just tell me. I'm your mother. Why can't you say this to me? Mom, please. You have to understand that I just can't. I can't do this right now. Did something happen to make this change in you? You know that you can talk to me about anything, right? Did Greg do something to upset you? Is that why you don't want me to give Bryce to him? Can you at least explain that part to me? I can't. I don't want to and I can't. Please, just stop asking, Mom. Samantha, I am very sorry, but if you're serious about not coming home, then I need answers. I don't want to have to do this, but if you can't give me a straight answer, then I see no reason why Greg shouldn't be able to take care of his own son. Because your father and I certainly didn't sign up to be new parents of any kind when you said you would come here. And if we can't give him to Greg, then that means Bryce would have to go into some kind of foster care system. What's the point, Mom? What's the point in trying to talk to anyone about this? It's not like anyone is ever going to believe me. Samantha, I am your mother, and whatever you have to tell me, I want you to know that I believe you. Well, but you think that Greg is a good husband, don't you? I know that you two talk every now and then. You were even saying how proud you were of Greg and how he was going to be even better than Dad was with Bryce, right? Well, you know that it took me a long time to feel that way, right? I mean, I remember I had half a mind to beat that boy silly, but you don't even know what I have to tell you about him. What I meant by that was that I think Greg is a nice man now. But if you're telling me that he had something to do with this, then that's all the reason I need to be on your side. Mom, thank you so much. Of course. I know that you can be a bit of an odd duck, but I want you to know that I'll always be by your side. And you should know that you can always count on me for anything. Thank you so much, Mom. I don't know what else to say, but I've just been such an idiot, and it made things so difficult for so many people. Samantha, whatever it is that's bothering you, I'm sure that it's much worse in your head than in reality. But please, just know that you can talk to me about anything, and I'll be there to help you. Greg, are you there? I was wondering if we could have a little chat right now.
Oh, hey, Tabitha. Yes, of course we can talk. This is actually perfect since I actually wanted to ask you something as well.
You had something that you wanted to talk to me about?
Yeah. The thing is that I can't seem to get a hold of Samantha right now. I'm sure that things are busy there with the kid and all, but would you mind asking her when she thinks she's going to come home?
I'm sorry, but your wife is no longer with us.
Wait, what? What do you mean no longer with us? Are you trying to tell me that Samantha is dead?
I'm afraid so.
But why? How? This can't be happening. Is this some kind of joke? Please tell me that you're lying about this.
I'm afraid to say that it's the truth.
But I just don't get it. Can you at least tell me how?
Well, Samantha simply decided that she couldn't deal with you anymore. So she chose to do the only thing she knew would grant her freedom. But she made sure to tell me all that you did to make her feel that way.
What in the world are you talking about? You're saying that I drove Samantha to this point? But, I mean, this can't be. She can't be dead. Tabitha, this is so awful.
I know that ever since the two of you married, you wanted to make sure that Samantha stayed in the house. You even forced her to quit her job to make that happen, didn't you?
Well, it's just that I was making enough money to take care of the both of us, and she quit her job to take care of our kid. I don't really see what's wrong with any of that.
All you did was pressure her into doing this, and then you were constantly putting her down for not working. You pushed her to absolute limits doing that. Did you know that?
I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
I mean that I know all about how you try to limit her contact with friends, keep her from going out when she wanted, and even if she tried to ever argue with you, you would hit her. You left her with no other choice.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's all wrong. It's nothing like that at all. I'm sorry, Tabitha, but you've got this whole thing wrong.
And just what have I said that you think is wrong here, huh?
Well, first of all, I never said any mean things to Samantha, especially about not working. I mean, maybe I would comment on how she was doing the chores if something wasn't done right or left not done at all. And the only time I warned her about going out was because she was going out to some drinking party with a bunch of other guys. But I didn't force her to stay in, and I certainly didn't prevent her from leaving either.
But what about the abuse? Samantha told me that you would hit her.
Do you really think that I'm capable of something like that? I loved your daughter. I would never do something like that in a million years.
But what about the time she told me about when you didn't like the soup she made? She told me about how you poured the hot bowl full of it all over her in anger. There were burns on her arms for 2 months after that.
Tabitha, you have to believe me. I didn't do anything like that at all. I thought you would have known me better by now.
I'm sorry, but this is my daughter that we're talking about, and I can't just take your word over hers.
But please, you have to know that I'm telling the truth. I really didn't do anything, and I had no idea that Samantha was in any kind of mental state where she would even think about taking her own life. I knew that she was nervous about having the baby, but I didn't think that she was this scared and upset.
You know, for someone who's heard that their wife has just died, you're giving an awful lot of excuses. I mean, if you really loved her, do you think you would even be talking this much to me?
What do you mean? You're the one who keeps asking me questions about this and driving the conversation. But you can't honestly think it's my fault that Samantha's dead.
I'm just saying that if I heard my daughter had died, I don't think I'd even be able to hold a conversation. And I know that no matter what anyone said, I would still be so full of guilt. And yet, here you are, hearing about your wife dying, and you're just trying to make sure your own name gets cleared, aren't you?
But you still don't have any way to pin any of this on me. Can you blame me for panicking when I hear that my wife is dead and you're trying to blame it on me? Don't you think that I have a right to stand up for myself?
I really don't have anything to say to you. Besides, I've already seen Samantha's diary where she locked the way that you treated her.
But that still isn't going to serve as proof of anything.
Oh, it will. Especially when you include the testimony of the plastic surgeon who helped with those burns on her arm. He only realized after the surgery that those must have been the scars of someone who was burnt by another person. And later, he even reached out to Samantha to confirm his suspicions, but she couldn't deny it.
But that still doesn't prove that I did anything to her at all.
I guess we'll just have to settle this in court then, won't we?
You mean that you're going to try to sue me over this? Why would you do this? I mean, Samantha's dead, isn't she? You really think this is what she would want?
Well, actually, Samantha is alive and getting ready for this lawsuit.
Wait a second. She's alive?
That's right. I mean that she has only died as your wife.
What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you tell me that she's dead like that?
Because I wanted to see if you would admit to the things you did to her. And because Samantha was thinking of running away and leaving her baby with us, never to come back. She pretended like everything was fine at home, but now I know the truth. And now that I do, I'm going to make sure that you have nobody on your side ever again.
Hold on a second. You mean you're really just going to take Samantha's word over mine with no other proof?
I already told you that we had proof. It's over. You're finished. Don't you see that? By the way, I hear that you have a lovely friendship with that Kathy woman.
What are you talking about? Do you mean Kathy from work? Because coworkers is all that we are. Or are you about to tell me that Samantha accused me of sleeping with her?
Well, you basically stole the words right from me.
Well, let me be the first to tell you that that just simply is not true at all. Samantha has got the entirely wrong idea about us.
Do you really think that ever since Samantha came clean to her father and I about all of this, that we've just been doing nothing? No, we've been following her story and gathering evidence, and things are not looking good for you one bit, Greg.
I don't care what Samantha has told you to. I am really telling you right now that she is a liar.
You really seem to forget all about the evidence that I told you we already have on you.
I've had enough of this. Just let me speak to Samantha.
Why, so you can threaten her away from us? I'm afraid that Samantha isn't interested in talking to you right now.
Well, she's my wife, so you put her on the phone right now. I need to tell her to quit lying to you both about this.
If you want to tell her anything, you can say it through me. But I do have a message to you from her. She says that she wants a divorce.
And you tell her that she's dreaming if she thinks that that will happen.
You mean after I told you I have proof of your affair? And the abuse? And all the other horrible things you've done to my poor daughter?
I told you that I didn't do any of those at all. You know how much I care about her. Look, it is true. I was having an affair with Kathy, and that was wrong of me. But I don't want to get a divorce.
Well, it seems like to me you should have thought about all of this a long time ago. Because Samantha is through with you, and if you think that she should stay with you simply because you want her to, then that says more about you than it does her.
Please, it's not like that at all.
It's fine. We'll just see what your boss has to say when I make a report to your office.
What does my workplace have to do with any of this?
Well, you and Kathy are co-workers, aren't you? Don't you think your boss would like to know that the two of you are wasting company time cheating with each other?
Please, this has nothing to do with my work at all. Look, fine. If Samantha wants a divorce, then I can give that to her. I'll even pay for the affair. Just please, make this stop.
Oh no, I'm afraid that this can't simply end with a divorce. The truth of this has to be known to everyone.
Please, I'll pay you $50,000.
You really think that you can buy her silence with just that? My daughter is worth more than that.
Please, I didn't mean for any of this to happen this way.
Neither did I, Greg. Here I thought you were kind, caring, considerate man with a great career and good prospects ahead of you. But I had no idea that you carried such a horrible monster inside of you.
Please, you've got this all wrong. You've got me all wrong. Tabitha.
I don't want to hear it from you anymore, especially not if you're just going to be saying the same things over and over again. You're an adult, and you need to learn to take responsibility for your actions, even if we have to drag you kicking and screaming to do so. In the end, I ended up contacting Greg's office and tipped his boss about his affair with Kathy. In the end, the two of them were caught, and proof was amassed that showed the two of them hooking up during company time. Although Greg had been a wonderful employee with great prospects before him, this was only the first of a number of scandals and infractions that Greg had attempted to hide from his boss. Meanwhile, despite fighting every step of the way, Greg and Samantha were finally divorced. He helped as long as he could, but soon even his lawyers were advising that he just give in before the results worsened for him. Greg had to pay a huge amount of money to Samantha for his affair, as well as child support for his child who he never even got to meet. At work, he wasn't fired, but he was demoted to working in the archives, a room that never even got any sunlight. Unable to stand the rumors of his coworkers, Greg quit his job, gathered what belongings and savings he did have, and moved to another state. It's horrible that we couldn't make him pay even further for what he did to Samantha, but we're just grateful that we've never heard from him ever since then. As for Samantha, she moved back in with her father and I. We've been helping her to raise her little one while she adjusts to the single life. Already, she seems so much happier knowing that she'll never have to take another order from Greg again. Despite knowing all that my daughter had gone through while she was with Greg, I still couldn't help but feel a sense of responsibility and guilt. I had fallen for Greg's performance he put on and fully believed that he was a decent person who was good for my daughter and her future. But I had no idea how wrong I was. But I'm also so thankful to myself that as soon as I realized just how scared Samantha really was, that I was able to take her side uncompromisingly. I could have been suspicious of her for running away and leaving her newborn child with her parents to take care of. But I knew that wasn't the daughter that I had raised. Instead, I wanted to do everything I could to make sure that she was safe and acting rationally. Although we can't always choose our family, it's important that we be there for who we have chosen to be a part of ours. With Samantha back at home and the baby getting bigger, I can only hope that in some way I've been able to make up for not realizing what Samantha was going through with Greg. Needless to say, this whole experience has brought the whole family closer together and made us all realize what really matters to us as a family. I can only hope that this small episode for my family might serve to encourage others to treat your loved ones with respect and empathy. Always listen to a friend in distress, and never take for granted that someone is who they appear to be.
Hey, are you still at home? Or have you already left for work? What the heck?
Oh, hey, Ron. Yeah, I'm actually already out of the house.
You mean you left the house and you didn't even tell me about it? You should have woken me up before you left for the day.
But I did wake up. Before I left the house, I went into our room and woke you up.
Well, you clearly didn't do it the right way, did you? Otherwise, I wouldn't have slept in.
I called your name and I saw you open your eyes. I don't know what else you expected from me. I mean, at the end of the day, you should be able to get out of the bed all on your own. Don't get mad at me because you get yourself to work late because you don't know how to wake up properly.
What are you talking about? Are you really going to pretend like this is all my fault? You can't just blame me for this when you had a part in it. You should have just made sure that I actually got out of bed before you left for work.
Sorry, don't you have some kind of party that you're supposed to be going to tomorrow? Shouldn't you be getting ready for that instead of complaining to me about all of this?
Oh, you're talking about the anniversary party of one of our clients' companies? Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Well, it sounds to me like you're basically expected to go by your bosses, right? I think you might still be able to make it on time if you move quickly. So I would quit trying to pick a fight with me and just go and get ready for your job.
Fine. I'll go and get ready for this dumb party. So you have any idea where my navy blue suit is? I can't just wear the usual outfit for work. We're all supposed to come dressed in something nice for this party. I was thinking of wearing that blue suit to it.
Yeah, I think that would look really nice on you, Ron. Your suit should be hanging in the closet. I don't think that I've even taken it out of the dry cleaning bag, so it should be in there.
Great. Thank you, Beth. Now, I just need to figure out which necktie would look the best on me. I don't know. I don't want to go too over the top and look like I'm going to a wedding or anything. By the way, do you have any suggestions for what kind of undershirt I should wear?
Ron, I am really, really sorry, but I have work that I need to be concentrating on right now.
But if I can't figure this out, then I'm definitely going to be late for the party. I only have half an hour before I really need to be out of the house.
Well, maybe you should have thought about what you wanted to wear for this the night before. Then you could have asked me to check then, and we wouldn't be having to do all of this right now.
No, you should have been there laying out my outfits before I went to bed. You knew that I had this party going on today, didn't you? So why didn't you try and plan ahead for me for it? What's the matter with you?
I'm so sorry for assuming that you'd figure out how to pick out an outfit for yourself. Do you really need me to pick out your clothes for you? Can you really not even handle that?
I just don't know what looks good with what. Come on, this client is really important. Are you trying to make me embarrass myself there? Just give me a hand and help me pick out what to wear, please?
Okay, fine. Do you remember that necktie that you got from your parents last year? I think you should wear that. As for the undershirt, you're probably just fine going with standard white. Like you said, this is, at the end of the day, a business function, so you don't want to overdo it on your outfit.
I see. Yeah, that all sounds good. What about my hair? Should I do anything with it?
I think you can just style your hair how you always do. Is there anything else? Can I please get back to doing my work now?
Okay, so we got clothes and hair. But what about my shoes? Which pair of shoes should I wear to complete the outfit?
Literally just the same shoes that you always go to work in. Those look nice.
You know, I don't think that you're actually putting all that much thought into this. I am serious about this. So can you please at least pretend to be?
I am being serious about this. I know what the closet looks like, and I'm telling you what to wear. You told me you wanted to go with your blue suit, so I'm thinking of what would go good with that, okay?
Okay, geez, fine. It just feels like you're not taking this as seriously as I am.
Anyways, are you going to be coming home late because of this party of yours?
No, I think that I'll just go straight home once it's done. I'll ask my boss as it starts to wrap up if I can just leave.
Got it. Well, in that case, it sounds like you might get home before I do. So when you do get home, please make sure that you hang your suit and pants back up so that they don't wrinkle. Ron, the house is a complete mess. Did you do this? What happened here?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I was really busy looking for my wallet. I was just about to go out and do some shopping, and then I couldn't find it anywhere.
So you made this much of a mess in the house just looking for your wallet? It looks like a burglar ransacked our home. Can you please clean all of this up when you get back?
What? Why should I have to clean it all up? How about you clean it up?
Ron, why would I clean up this mess when you were the one who made it?
Well, I mean, you're always cleaning up after me, aren't you?
You're right, I usually do for some reason, but I'm going to be busy getting dinner ready. So can you please just clean up after yourself? I'm not your mother, you know.
Oh, come on. The mess isn't that bad. You don't have to be acting like this just over a little disorder.
It's about more than just this mess. You are always asking me to do everything for you. I have work that I need to do, and I can't keep getting distracted having to do every little thing for you.
So what? You'd rather I call you any time that I need you to do something for me? Is that it?
That is not what I said at all. In fact, you bother me enough during the day with all of these little texts. Anytime you want to know something, you always have to come to me first. But if you wanted to be able to find your things faster, then you should just keep the house clean in the first place. Then maybe you wouldn't be losing so many of your things all the time. Have you thought of that?
Now you listen here. I'll have you know that I know exactly where all the important stuff is for me. It's not like I'm making mess with anything valuable.
Ron, how can you honestly be trying to say that to me? Do you have any idea just how many times you've lost your keys this year?
Okay, well, I don't get the big deal about losing something like a house key. You can always just make a new one. I don't really think that's such a big deal.
Except you realize that it costs money to make a new key, right? Not only that, but now there might be multiple copies of our house key out in the world. Doesn't that make you nervous at all? Doesn't that make you want to be better about keeping your stuff in order?
I really don't think that it's nearly as bad as you're trying to make it sound. I know where my things are, and just because you can't see the system I have doesn't mean that there isn't one. So anyways, could you please just clean up around the house? I'm almost back home anyways.
What is it? What do you want? Just how many times are you going to call me like this? You should know that I am in the middle of work. Why are you doing this?
Well, you wouldn't happen to know where my silver USB went, would you?
No, I wouldn't know where it is because I haven't seen it at all recently.
I'm so sure that I left it in my bag that I always bring with me to work. Can you please just try and remember where it was that you last saw it? I really have looked up and down and everywhere for it, and I have no idea where it's gone.
I already told you that I have no idea where your USB would have gone.
But why? You should know more about where things are in this house than I do. Please, can't you just think about where you last even might have seen it?
Do you really need to be bothering me about this right now? Can this not wait until later?
No! It can't wait at all. This is really, really important, and I need it right now. There's really important information about the company on the thing, and if I lost it, well, I was the one entrusted with it, and I just can't be the one to lose it.
So you really ended up losing something that important then, huh? Well, can you remember at all where you last had it?
I know that a couple of days ago, I took it from work and I had it inside my backpack. But after that, I can't remember taking it out or even touching it. So that makes me think that it has to be somewhere in my bag, but I've looked through it all and I just can't find it.
Well, then are you absolutely sure that that's where you put it? Did you actually look through every little pocket in your backpack?
I've looked in every pocket. I've taken everything out. I've shaken upside down and nothing's come out. What am I going to do?
And you're really sure that it would have been in your bag? There's nowhere else that you can think of where it might be?
I don't know. Maybe I took it out just once. But I really have no idea at all where I would have put it after that.
I see. Well, do you think that you might have moved it or even taken it out of your bag when you made that big mess of the house the other day? Because I saw that your backpack was on the floor then.
You think it might have fallen in between one of the couch cushions or something like that?
No, I don't think it would have been there. I actually just vacuumed in between the couch cushions and I didn't catch anything.
But it has to be in the house somewhere if it's not in my backpack. I've looked everywhere for it, though. I swore that I put it in my backpack, and then I just never ever touched it after that. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, maybe you need to retrace your steps and see if there isn't a moment where you could have dropped it. But that is why I try to tell you to be more organized with your things. If you were, then I don't think these kinds of things would happen.
Look, I didn't come to you looking for a lecture, okay? I really don't have time for this from you. Please just help me look for it once you get back here, okay?
This is exactly what I was trying to warn you about, Ron. Look, when I get back from work, I am going to be exhausted. I have been outside of the office all day.
Now is not the time to be making excuses for yourself. Maybe if you were better at cleaning up the house, then this wouldn't have happened. You moved my USB, and now you won't even tell me where. This is all your fault.
Oh, come on, Ron. You can't actually think that this is my fault, right? It's not my job to keep track of your things.
But what if you just accidentally threw it away without even realizing what it was, huh? I mean, don't you think there's a chance that you could have moved it?
I was the one who told you to come home and clean up the mess you had made. You were the one that insisted to me that there was nothing of value on the floor.
But, I mean, that was only because I thought that everything important was in my backpack already. Besides, I asked you to clean it, so you must have touched it.
I really don't think that I have anything to do with this at all, but if you must know, I don't remember seeing a USB at all while I was cleaning up after you.
Well then please, you have to come home right now and help me look for it. This is really, really serious.
I'm sorry, but you lost this thing and it's your responsibility to find it. Don't get mad at me for something that you did.
But I didn't even do anything to begin with. This is all your fault. And now I'm going to be punished by my work because of something that you did. If anything happens to me because of this, just know that you're going to pay.
And why is it that I should have to take responsibility for something that you lost, huh? I'm sorry, but I am not going to play along this time. This is your problem, so you need to learn how to deal with it.
You have really done it now. I got into so much trouble at work because of your little stunt.
And just what stunt did I happen to pull?
I'm talking about the USB, of course. But it's not just that. Because you didn't help me look for it, I've been worrying about it so much that I made several mistakes at work today. You should have been taking care of my stuff better. Why would you do this to me?
I didn't do anything to you at all. You're the one who made the mistake, and now you're trying to blame it on me. But it's not my fault. You were the one who made the mess and then insisted that I clean it up. You really are trash. Do you know that?
Excuse me? What did you just say? Who do you think you are trying to talk to me like that, huh? You need to take responsibility for what you've done. You've lost the USB that is full of valuable data from my clients. Do you have any idea how much trouble I'll get in if my bosses learn that I've lost this?
Oh, I would guess that they already know. After all, you said that you were the one tasked with holding on to it, right?
Wait, what? What do you mean? What did you do? She didn't do anything that you hadn't already done to yourself through this. We thought that you were ready to be trusted carrying around important data like that, but you were clearly far from ready. Why did you even take something as important as that home to begin with? Wait a second. How did you know all that? The only person who would know that would be Mr. Howard? That's right, Ron. It's me, your boss. And I have to say that I'm very disappointed in you. But I don't understand. Why are you texting me from my wife's number? What's going on here? You have got some nerve trying to blame your wife for all of this mess. Do you really need your wife to do every little thing for you? Here I thought that you could actually be trusted with some responsibility. No. Wait, there's been some kind of mistake here. Oh yes, there has been a huge mistake. And that mistake was ever trusting you with such vital information in the first place. But I still don't get what's going on here. Why are you texting me from Beth's number? Is that really what you're shocked about? We're together in the same room in the office, if you must know. She actually came by here to drop off the USB that she told me that you had lost. Wait a second. So she had it this whole time and didn't tell me? Apparently, you had dropped it in the subway stop you always take and it was returned to the front desk. Then your wife, who was clever enough to retrace your steps for you, went to the lost and found and was able to retrieve it. And yet all you did was demand that she come home and find it for you when you had lost it? But Well, I was just so sure that I'd lost it somewhere at home. You weren't even supposed to be taking that thing home with you in the first place. You were supposed to return it by the end of the day. And because you didn't, not only did we know that it had been checked out to you, but that means that if anything happened to it, you were always going to be the one on the hook. You know, if your wife hadn't brought this here to the office, we could have sued you. But it's all okay now because she found it. Isn't that right? Oh no. You are not going to be getting away with this without being punished. And nobody is going to cover for you regarding this, especially after the way you've treated your poor wife. It's clear that you have no real sense of responsibility, and I think the only way of teaching you how is to show you that your actions have consequences. Please, this won't ever happen again. You don't have to punish me. I've already learned my lesson. I swear. I'm sorry, but my mind is made up. We're going to have a long talk the next time that you come into the office. But just know that if you somehow manage to walk out of that meeting and you still have your job, you have Beth to thank.
After that, a serious meeting was scheduled at Ron's work to decide how to deal with him. One side wanted to demote him, while the other were of the mind that he should be fired. In the end, he was demoted and had his pay reduced. I heard that he was given the office in the boiler room where nobody else works. But I'm sure that the shock about his job didn't affect Ron nearly as much as my decision to end our marriage. I told him that I wasn't going to spend another day with a man who not only couldn't take care of himself, but then blamed others when his incompetence created trouble. The divorce went smoothly, though I heard through the grapevine that after working down in the boiler room for so long, that Ron became depressed and decided to quit his job. I have no idea what he's been doing since then. But all I know is that now that Ron isn't constantly messaging me over every little thing, I feel like I can finally concentrate on my work. In fact, I was able to get so much work done that in a couple of months, I learned that I was being promoted. In some ways, maybe I should be grateful to Ron. After all, I feel like he showed me how to patiently deal with even the most useless of employees to manage. Since then, I actually have become the manager of my own team in my office. Thankfully, I feel like I was prepared to guide my staff through any questions or challenges that they might have had. Thankfully, my whole team was very responsible and was able to start working on their own once they understood what their jobs were. Of course, I was more than happy to help if concerns came up, but it was nice to finally be able to delegate and not have to babysit. Hey, Mom, are you there? I was just wondering if you wouldn't mind me visiting you at your house next month. I was thinking that I could take about a week off of work and go there and stay with you, if that's all right.
You want to come to my house to stay for a while? Do I understand that right? I think the last time that you were here must have been 2 years ago.
Wow, has it really been that long already? It doesn't feel like it, but I guess now that you say that, I guess it has been.
That's right. Ever since you left the house to go and live in the big city, you haven't come to visit me even once. So just, what is it that suddenly changed your mind about coming here, huh? Did something happen? Do you need help?
No, Mom, it isn't anything like that at all. I have quite a bit of time off at work, and I just thought I should use it. I mean, I was thinking of using the time off to go and take a vacation or something, but I think I'd rather just relax. And I thought, what better way to take it easy than by going to spend some time with my mom? Not to mention how fun it would be to see all my old friends from back home and all of that.
Oh, I see. By the way, do you have any friends who have gotten married since you moved away? When are you finally going to settle down with someone nice?
You know, if you're going to start talking about this again, then I just won't go to visit you. We've talked about this, and I told you that I am going to get married when I find the right person and not a moment sooner.
I just wish that you would try to be more like your older brother sometimes. He was a good son and got married right away. Now he lives with his wife here at home with me. He knows what it means to be a good son.
So the only thing that makes him a good son is that he's moved in with his wife into your house? I'm sorry, Mom, but I think that way of thinking is a bit outdated.
Honestly, sometimes I wonder how someone like you ended up as my daughter. But I suppose you probably just take much more after your dad than you do me.
No offense, Mom, but I think that you have a habit of seeing what you want to see and blinding yourself to what you don't. I'm not trying to start a fight, and I was only suggesting that I come over for a visit. I don't think that there's any need to talk to me like this. And if you're just going to be lecturing me the whole time that I'm at your place, then I don't think I even want to go.
Well, fine then. But just know that I've told you all of this because I'm worried about you. It's all for your sake.
Thank you, Mom. It means a lot to me that you're so worried about my future.
Now, are you sure that you want to come and visit me for a whole week? That just seems like an awfully long time, don't you think? I mean, there's not even any holidays coming up.
I know, but I don't like taking time off during the holidays. Everything is so busy and crowded, it almost defeats the point. But actually, things have just been getting quite busy at work, and that's why I've been wanting a rest. But I don't just want to take 2 or 3 days off. I need more if I'm going to get the rest that I need.
I see. So, you don't ever come home for the past 2 years, and now all of a sudden you think you can just drop by and live with me for a whole week?
I mean, if that's okay with you, it's not like I haven't missed you all the whole time that I've been away. So if you could tell Nate and his wife Sarah that I'll be coming, that would be great. I'll be sure to bring some souvenirs as well.
Oh, well in that case, I suppose you can come. Just make sure to get some treats that are really famous from where you're living, okay? I think you brought little macaroons last time.
Okay, well, if you liked those, I could for sure bring you some. By the way, can Sarah eat those?
Actually, she's the one who liked those treats the best out of all of us. I think she really just likes sweet, fancy things like that since you know she hasn't gotten out of the town much.
You mean she's really never left the country? She hasn't gone to a big city even once?
That's right. That wife of your brother's is the portrait of a hard-working country girl with nothing in her head besides the next harvest. Just a plain country woman.
You really think that she's plain? I mean, I know she doesn't wear makeup or anything, but I think that she's really pretty. I bet that if someone gave her a big makeover, that she would really blow some of the locals away.
What in the world are you talking about? Don't even suggest such nonsense. You think there's a diamond hiding in the rough or something? I'm afraid that all you'll find is to start rubbing up the dirt of a big cow pie.
I see. Well, all I'm saying is that I think Sarah's quite pretty.
And you barely even met her and hardly spent any time with her at all. But anyways, I'll tell everyone that you're coming back. Drive safely. We're all looking forward to seeing you.
Sure thing, Mom. Thanks for telling everyone. Guess I'll see you in a little bit. Hey, Mom, I just wanted to let you know that I'm about to start heading back to your house now.
Oh, I see. Did you all finish hanging out already? I guess I would have expected you to stay out later with your friends, but then again, I bet some of them do have kids, right? Didn't you tell me one of your friends even had kids in middle school? I guess it really has been some time since you've seen these people.
Yeah, and that's why we decided not to let things run too late. We wanted to make sure everyone could get to bed on time.
I see. Well, then I guess that means that you still haven't had dinner yet, since you're coming home this early. Were you hoping to eat something at home?
Actually, I had a rather late lunch, so I could eat, but I would only want something light. Is there anything like that to eat at your house?
Yes, I think that I could make you something light to eat when you get back home. Maybe just a salad with a little bit of chicken?
Oh, that would be perfect, actually. Yes, please, if it's not too much trouble, could you make me that?
I thought that you might like that. But then again, I am your mother, and I do know best.
Right, well, anyways, I guess I'll just head home now then. But, I just feel like we've been eating really heavy foods the past few days. Are you guys always eating like this? I mean, I just worry it's a bit greasy now.
Well, it's what your brother likes. And between his job and the gym, he moves his body a lot, and so he needs the calories to make up for what he's lost.
Well, I guess that makes sense. But what about Sarah? Does she enjoy eating like this? I just seem to remember her telling me once that really oily foods tend to not sit well with her.
Oh, I don't see why you even bother worrying yourself about someone like Sarah. Anyway, she's out for the night, so she won't even be joining us for dinner.
She's gone out of the night again? I feel like she hasn't been here for a single dinner since I've gotten here.
Yes, I guess if you count it up, it would seem like she really hasn't at all, actually.
Well, do you have any idea where it is that she might be going out all of these nights?
Oh, I'm sure she has lots to keep her busy. Some meetings around town, visiting her family, errands and chores and such.
I guess so, but then why is she going out to do all of this at night?
You know how things can be in a small town like this. I guess she doesn't feel scared at night, and so she's just always keeping herself busy running. It's not like in the city where you can just go out and only think about yourself.
Wow. Well, I guess that certainly is one way to go through life, although I would rather get married to someone in the city.
You know, I doubt that you could even last a week living the kind of life that Sarah does out here. And it's not like the selection of men out here is all that great either.
Right. Well, I guess I'm lucky that I live in a better populated area with a good dating pool then.
And I wish you all the luck in finding the right man in a place like that. But anyways, when are you finally getting home? Just how long are you going to leave this salad here?
Right, I'm almost home. Just a little longer, please. Hey, Sarah, I just wanted to thank you so much for dinner tonight. It was really good. I mean, you really knocked it out of the park with that fish. Did you really make all of that?
Oh, hello, Rena. Yes, I did make everything that we had for dinner, and I'm happy that you enjoyed it all.
I don't think I had any idea that you were such a talented chef. Do you think that you could show me how to cook some of that in the future? I'm actually, well, when it comes to fancier things like that, I don't have quite as much experience.
I think that you should ask your mom to show you how to make some of the dishes that I did. After all, she's a much better cook than I am.
You really think so? Because if I can be honest with you, that was better than anything that my mom has ever made for me. But don't go telling her that. It can be our little secret.
Oh, of course, Rena. I would never ever say something like that to your mom.
Well, that's good to know. By the way, Sarah, I've been meaning to ask you something. I mean, it's been several days since I got here, and I don't think that we've eaten together once. Are you just really busy or something?
Oh yes, that's right. I'm very busy. I'm always having to do things outside of the house.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about. Are you always eating out then? Do you dislike eating with the family?
It's nothing like that. I just have a lot of activities in town and at the local community hall, and so I just end up eating around there.
But that's another thing that I was curious about. You see, I was talking to my mom's neighbor, and she told me the community hall doesn't even stay open that late. So if you're not going there, then why aren't you spending your nights in your own home?
What do you mean? I'm not sure I get what you're trying to ask me right now.
Well, I didn't mean to put you out or anything like that. I know that it was a bit of a surprise, me coming to stay here for the week. But I don't want to be the reason why you aren't able to be at your own home. I can pack up my bags and leave early if you'd like.
No, it's nothing like that at all. It isn't that I don't like you. I think that you've been very kind to me, and I really enjoy having you around.
Do you really, though? I mean, if that were the case, then why are you always disappearing? I would have really liked to get to spend more time with you while I was here. We should get something to eat sometime.
I don't think that your mother would like or allow that to happen. And since I'm her daughter, of course I have to take all my meals outside.
Wait, what? What do you mean about that last part? I haven't heard about that.
Well, it's just that since I'm the daughter-in-law, I should be spending all the nights outdoors.
I'm sorry, are you telling me that my mom tells you that because you're her daughter-in-law, you're not allowed to be in the house at night?
That's right. That is what your mom told me. I remember I first learned about this rule not long after I'd gotten married to your brother.
But this is crazy. Why would my mom tell you to do something like that? And what about my brother? Surely he has something to say about this, right? He doesn't actually make you go through with this.
No, I'm afraid that your brother Nate always does whatever your mom says to him. He's never once stood up for me or taken my side in this. In fact, anytime I do try to stand up to your mom, it's your brother who is there, ready to knock me down with some awful insult. He tells me I'm a bad wife, or he'll call me ugly and useless.
But then, they're just bullying you. There's nothing else that anyone can call it. You know, before I came here, I asked my mom if she wanted me to bring any souvenirs or treats. She told me that she wanted those macarons that I brought last time. But she also told me that you were the one who asked for them in the first place.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think that I know what you're talking about. I certainly don't know anything about any macaroons or anything like that.
But I don't understand. Why would my mom want to lie to me about something as simple as that?
You know, even if I didn't know the kinds of food that you were talking about, I still would have probably never tried them. After all, your mom only ever lets me eat leftovers when I'm allowed to take my meals.
But then, if you eat outside of the house for dinner, then what do you do for breakfast and lunch? In fact, now that you're saying all of this, I'm finally realizing that I've never seen you eat.
Well, your mom only lets me have water for breakfast and lunch.
How are you surviving one meal a day with water? That can't be good for you. I didn't realize that's why you were so skinny.
Yeah, and the doctors have been saying that my blood sugar really has not been good. They say that at this rate, I might not even be able to have children.
I can't believe that my own family is putting you through this. This is just so horrible.
No, you don't have to do anything to be sorry about. I'm the one that should be sorry. I've clearly told you much more than I was supposed to.
No, you should have told me about this. I'm glad that you did. I had no idea that my family was putting you through all of this. I only wish that you told me earlier. Does that mean that they've been treating you like this the whole time and you've just been putting up with it? Why didn't you try asking my brother for a divorce or just run away?
What would be the point? I don't have a job, and so I don't have money. And without any money, I couldn't be on my own for very long. Not to mention that I don't really get along with my parents, so I wouldn't go back to them either. I don't have anywhere to go, even if I could run.
But, I mean, the way that they're treating you, not only is it not right, but they're starving you. If you need a place to go to get away from them, then let me help you. I would love to help you get away from them.
I couldn't ask you to do that. You'd have so much on the line if you helped me. I couldn't ask you to take that risk with your mother and brother. I really will be fine.
You're not going to be giving me any trouble. If anything, you staying in this situation is going to bother me more than trying to get you out. I know that you might be scared because you know that you can't trust my mom or Nate, but you can trust me.
Oh dear, Sarah. Did you look at the weather forecast for the day? It seems like we might be getting rain. I guess that means that you'll be taking your dinner wet tonight, won't you? Try not to make a mess.
No, actually. Tonight I'm going out to have some pasta for dinner. I won't be needing any dinner at home, thank you.
Excuse me? What in the world are you talking about? Just where are you going to get the money to eat out, huh?
Well, Rena told me that she wanted to take me out for dinner. She told me that there's a nice Italian place that she's been wanting to try in the city. So not only will it be my first time eating out at a fancy restaurant like that, but it'll also be my first time in the city.
Wait a second. You mean that you're going all the way back to the city with Rena? Are you there with her right now?
I am, and you should know that I've told her the truth about our little arrangement. Rena thinks that I should divorce Nate and never come back here. Not only that, but Rena said that she would help me until I can stand up on my own 2 feet. So I am going to be starting my life anew.
You mean that you're really going to leave my son to go and do something so stupid? What is the matter with you? You really need to learn your place in the family, do you know that?
Would you mind getting the divorce papers ready from there? You can just ask Nate to sign on the parts where he needs to, and then send it to Rena. I'll take care of the rest and even pay to have it filed and all of that. Of course, if he wants to try and drag this out, I'm more than happy to sue. So, now that I've told you all of that, make sure that Nate knows as well. It sounds like you two will have a lot of talking to do about all of this.
Wait a second. Did you say that you were going to sue us? And just what in the world would be suing us for? You're the one that's just demanding out of the blue for a divorce. If anyone should have to pay, it should be you.
No, that won't be how this is going to go. What's going to happen is that I'm going to sue you for the abuse that you've been putting me through. I have been putting up with your awful ways just to keep my marriage together for a long, long time, and you aren't going to get away with how you've treated me.
But, wait a second. Is this really Sarah? You would normally never talk to me like this. What's gotten into you?
I suppose that Rena gave me the pep talk that I needed to finally stand up to you. I'm not going to be your submissive little daughter-in-law anymore.
You think I'm just going to let you divorce my son and get away with it? You'll never escape.
I don't care what you say. If you ever try to do anything to make me go back to that house, I'll call the police. You wouldn't want that, right? After all, in such a small town, you know exactly how fast the rumors would spread about you. Why would you be made into a pariah overnight?
You won't get away with this. I won't let you get away with this so easily. Rena, are you there? I just want to let you know that I've sent the divorce papers to your address. Is that all you needed from us?
Thank you for doing that. I'll be sure to have these filed right away.
But I still don't understand. Why are you even doing this in the first place? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, don't you realize that you're ruining your brother's own marriage? You're going to tear him and his wife apart.
It sounds to me like those two should have never ever been together in the first place. And given the horrible way that you two have treated her, I don't think anyone would blame her for wanting to get away.
Don't you think that just because you've gotten this far that you're out of the woods yet? You are going to be in so much trouble.
I'm sorry, but all I'm doing is helping someone in need. You were practically holding Sarah captive. Now I'm giving her a way out. She is going to stay in the city and start her new life here far away from the two of you.
Are you out of your mind? Do you really think that a girl like Sarah could even survive a week in a place like that? And why is she doing this anyways? She should be grateful to be my son's wife. She's a good-for-nothing nobody, and she'll never make it without family there to guide her.
I really don't think that you have any idea what you're talking about. I already know how strong of a person Sarah is to have to put up with you. But on top of her great personality, she is also just a gorgeous woman. I think she'll do just fine here.
You don't know anything about her. She can't do anything right. She won't be able to take care of herself at all.
I am sure that she is perfectly capable of doing anything that she sets her mind to. If anything, she's already proven that by the years of service she's given you and Nate. So I wouldn't keep underestimating her, because it's only going to make you look bad.
I am only trying to tell you the truth about what you've done. She really is the most useless and helpless woman in the world.
You know what I think, Mom? I think that you and Nate are probably the only ones who actually believe that.
No, it's true. You can't just let a girl like Sarah out into the city. She's going to get picked up by some strange man who's going to treat her even worse than Nate and I. She'll realize soon enough that she was lucky to be with us, and before you know it, she'll come crawling back to us.
Actually, you should know that I've already introduced Sarah to a few of my friends, and she's really been hitting it off with a few of them.
Well, I bet they're all just country bumpkin transplants, just like her.
I mean, I'm sure that you'd like to believe that they were, but it's just not the case. In fact, I have friends doing all kinds of things, from working in finance to fashion modeling. And despite all their high-paying jobs, some of the single friends that I introduced to Sarah have really been taken with her.
This can't be happening. Are you telling me that not only is she going to escape, but she's going to end up with someone who could be earning way more than even Nate was?
I mean, I'm actually surprised that someone like Sarah ever even ended up with my brother. It's clear that she's way better than him, and it seems like ever since coming out here to stay with him, that Sarah has been realizing her self-worth as well. And you know what? I think she's really going to thrive here. So thank you for sending the divorce papers. I hope this is the last that we ever have to deal with each other. After that, Sarah continued to live with me for a little while longer. After about a year of her staying with me, Sarah had finally found a stable job and saved up enough money to put money down on an apartment of her own. Of course, even after we stopped living together, we continued to see each other. We made a point to check in once a week and grab lunch or dinner together. Of all the friends that I had tried to set Sarah up with, I shouldn't have been too surprised that Sarah ended up with the one that did modeling. The two of them make such a cute couple. I had a feeling those ladies would get along, and I was glad that my hunch was right. Now they're even talking about getting married. I'm also just happy since that friend is someone that I know is responsible and level-headed. After all that Sarah had been through with my family, I knew that she needed some stability. Without Sarah there to do all the housework, I've heard through the grapevine that things haven't been going well between my mom and Nate. Although I have no idea, nor do I really care, how they're going to solve the issues they have with each other now. All I'm concerned about is that Sarah continues to thrive in the city and stays safe in her new life. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.